Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is A Joy of Painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer. And maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, here we go. We're ready to paint. We've got the canvas prepared. And how have we done that? Oh, we've put that magic white down on the canvas because we do the wet on wet painting technique with these oil paints, just like the Blue Wizard used to do. Bob Ross the Blue. He used to come to the Shire once a week when I was just a small hobbit, and he taught us all how to paint. And so we've prepared that canvas. We have it with that magic white, just a thin coat down. And we're just going to come into, this is our phthalo blue right here. Oh, we have alizarin crimson. Oh, that's a Prussian blue, phthalo blue, sap green, Van Dyke brown, midnight black, cadmium yellow. I didn't put any titanium white. I'm going to need some of that. Let me do that real quick. All right, and there we go. I added my titanium white. There we go. Can't have it without that. Oh, and that's bright red and yellow ochre. I don't think I said those ones. Anyway, now we're ready to go. And I've got that brush loaded up. We've just loaded that up with that phthalo blue. And we're going to come in here and we're just going to put in our sky. So just starting in the corner. And you see that's a bit dark there at the top, but that's okay. That's okay because we have that white on the canvas already. Put that in there, and we're just going to let that just mix in with the white that's already there. It'll be darker in those corners, and then you'd mix it down. There we are. Just using these crisscross strokes. That's right. If you have to, put a big old hobbit foot right on your easel, and that'll steady it out if you have to. So that's what I'm going to do there. And what are we painting today? Oh, we are painting Mr. Bilbo and those dwarves' journey. That's right. Where were they trying to get to in the end? To the lonely mountain, Erebor. And we're almost there. We are painting the part of the story where they've pulled up on the western shore of the river. They've paddled all the way through Long Lake, gotten to the top. They went into the river. And it was a slow 3 days of going upriver there. It was a slow 3 days, but now they've pulled in and they're going to go the rest of the way on foot, or on pony, I should say. There we go. Just mix that down, make sure we get it. It was a little dry on this side, you can see. It's not mixing into the canvas as well. We just put a little more pressure and that'll mix it right in. There we are. And we're going to have mountains in here today. It's been a while since we did a good mountain painting, but now just take out those brush strokes. There we go. And we're going to have some water at the bottom here. So again, we'll just take that phthalo blue, and we're just going to bring it in from the sides. There we go. Now you can see if it's all spotted like that, maybe you didn't get enough magic white on there. That's a little more liquidy than our normal paints. But that's okay. This is just water. We'll have some land and some reflection in there. Come to the other side. There we go. Just pull it straight across. There we are. And we're going to have land down here as well. So it's not going to be just a lake. We're past the lake. And this is that river at the north end of Long Lake. Bringing it here. There we go. Just rub that in, pulling it from the edges. And you have that light spot in the middle. That's just where, that's where the light is reflected on the water. There we are. And that quickly we've filled up our canvas. We've just put that color in and we're ready to go to we could do some clouds, but I thought maybe we won't do clouds today. I'm just going to get right to the mountains. So we'll do that. Let me clean off this brush. And that's right, we clean our brushes in odorless paint thinner. We just have that down here. And then of course we're not painting outside, we're in the Hobbit hole. So we don't beat the Sauron out of the brush on the easel. I have a rubbish bin right down here. And we just beat the Sauron out of the brush down in the rubbish bin. That's the fun part. That's the fun part. All right, let's put that over here. And I'm going to come to my palette knife. Now we're going to come with a mountain color. We have our black here. That's a midnight black. It's already got a little bit of a lavender feel to it. Maybe we'll put in even a little more crimson in there. There we go. Alizarin crimson right in there. Maybe we'll put some of that blue. We'll just pull that up. Put that in there. We're just making a mountain color. Some of our Van Dyke brown. There we are. So we're going to take that and, oh yes, all right, so the Lonely Mountain is going to be far in the back. So we're going to take some of our titanium white here and we're going to make a lighter color for our mountain. So we're just going to take that mountain color we're going to use and we're going to mix it into this. Oh, that titanium white, little darker here. Just mix that around. There we go. We just want to mix that together. That's going to be off in the back. That's going to be a distant mountain. But it's the Lonely Mountain, so it's the tallest. And that is the goal. That's where we're headed. Now, you get your knife, mostly clean, and just cut a row of paint right across that top. Now this Lonely Mountain, it comes tall. It's tall here in the back, so we're just going to push this right in here. Right there, the mountain comes up to a peak. And we'll bring it down this way. We're just trying to get a good line. That outside line, that's what we're looking for. Just getting that paint put down there. Maybe it comes out there. There's something going on that western side of the mountain. What could that be? Oh, I don't know. All right. Bring that down. This mountain. And I didn't get that quite mixed together so well, but that's okay. We want those other colors in there. So we've got that mountain there, that very tall mountain in the back. We'll even come give him some shape there. There we go. Now let's come to our 2-inch brush. We're going to come to that 2-inch brush and we're just going to pull this color down. Just moving that paint right across. There we go. Just pulling that out, making the shape of that mountain. Right there. Now we're just going to tap this out. This is just misty there at the bottom. Maybe we need a little more color on there. Put that in. Well, there's more detail there at the top, and at the bottom it gets mistier. There we go, just putting that color in, giving that mountain some shape. And I was looking for my brush. I was holding it down here. I'm like, I lost my brush, where'd it go? It's right here. We're just gonna tap this out. Tap it out here. And don't worry, we're going to have some other mountains in front. We have the roots of the mountain that stick right out. So back here, that just kind of gets lost. Not to worry, we'll have more that goes in front of there. Just going to set that to the side for now. Now we have our palette knife. We're going to have the roots of these mountains. They come out each way. So we're going to come over here. We're going to put this one in first. This will just come just up this way. This one's closer, so we have a little more detail that we can see. Comes down. Leading us off. There we go. And we're just concerned about getting this edge, this nice fine top edge here. That'll lead off that way. And bring that up there. There we go. Now we just pull that in. Pull that right into our painting. And we'll come back and we'll do that again where we take our brush and we'll pull it in with our brush. There we are. And you're really pressing that painting in. That paint, you just push it right into the canvas there. Now we come to our brush. We need to clean that off again. Back down into our rubbish bin. That's right. Just beat the Sauron out of it. There we go. Now let's pull this mountain back this way. We're going to pull it right back this way. You see that? If that was dry, we wouldn't be able to move this paint. That's what we like. So we'll come down this one. Move right that way. There we go. Pull it down this way. Right over to the edge there. This will come and that'll pull that right in front of that one. See there? That makes that room. Just gonna tap this mountain in now. Tapping it in. There we go. There we are. Back to our palette knife. Now we're going to come and we want a little bit of a highlight color on there. So we can even come back. Let's put a little more brown in here. So that Van Dyke brown right into that lighter color there. Cut it off. And now we're just going to lightly, we'll just pull this down and let it break right off the knife there. And it makes those rocky features on the mountain. There we go. Now that mountain's off in the distance. We don't have a lot of detail on it. Just pull that color in. There we go. Some back this way. Now we can even take some of this titanium white, bring it over, and we'll make even lighter color here. It's kind of a light, rocky color. There we are. Just take some of that and just decide which side of the mountain you want that falling on. And we think more of the light maybe will be hitting on this side. There we go. And you just let that break right off the knife there. Now you have some of that dark. You've picked up a little bit of that dark. Just wipe it off up there. Grab some more of your lighter color down here. So here will come, this will go off in this direction. Just making your mountain. Making your mountain here. There we go. And we'll bring this right in front there. There we go. Bring it right this way. And then these turn into more hills. There we go. Just got some hills there at the bottom. Now come back. And we're just going to tap that out again. Right at the bottom, just bring it up. Bring it up to it. Bring it up. There we go. And we'll have some trees and forest and things in front of here. So if you don't have all those details, that's not a big deal. There we go. Now we're going to come and we're going to put another route to the mountain that comes off this way. And that's the one, that's where our dwarves are headed. They're going to be headed from this side, up this way, looking for things there. So, just taking that lighter color, we're coming back to our dark here. Now this one will be even in front here. So this is going to come up, it's going to come up right here, right in front of this one. Right up like that. Maybe we'll have a peak come up this way. And bring it up here. Again, right in front. Pull that paint right into your painting. Bring it right in. There we go. Now we'll come back and let's pull this mountain right out into our painting here. Pull this right down this way. There we are. And when you do this, you're leaving that top edge and there's going to be trees and things on this side. So as you get closer to the side, it's not that big a deal. There we are. Knock some of that paint off. And come back. And well, we're gonna put some color on there. There we are. We'll come up here. Again, grabbing some more of our titanium white. Come in here, Van Dyke brown, mixing that in, just kind of getting that light stony color there. A little more of that white. Once you have that, just put it on your knife, and we just add that right in here. Just making that rock on the side of that mountain. There we go. Bring it right down this way. Just letting that break off the knife. That'll create those things. That creates the sides of your mountain. And you don't want the color mixed together completely, so it's all just one flat color. But now these will be the mountains that are closest to us, that we can see the best. So they have a little more detail. There we are. Just put that in. There we go. Maybe on that back side, it's just a little darker there. There we are. All right. Now that we have our mountains in, let's again tap those out down at the bottom. That's just that mist. When you're looking at something long, far away, the details there at the bottom. They just get a little harder to tell what they are. There we are. There we go. Now let's take that brush. Let's wash it off. There we go. Just beat the Sauron out of it. Now that we have that, let's go back. Oh, we're going to put some foothills in here. And this, we're just coming to this midnight black, just loading this up on the brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some foothills in here. Now this is where the Desolation of Smaug begins. So what you have is you just have this. We'll just put this in here. These hills right in front of the mountain. Comes right down this way. There we go. Take that, and we can even, if we want it to look like those trees that were all just burnt, just pull straight up. And that gives us a whole landscape where there's trees, that there's no leaves. They've all been burnt to a crisp. There we go. And, we should have done some back there. We'll do some back on this side, but that might be, our river is going to be bending around this way. We're just going to put this in over here. We may have some trees that go right in front of that, though. Just putting that in over there. There we are. Now we can clean that brush off. There we go. Just set that off to the side. Let's go to our fan brush. So now what we're going to do, we want a little bit of color in there, because the further away from that mountain you get, there you find there's some more color in the ground. But not too bright at first. So we're going to come to our sap green. We're going to bring that sap green right down here into this black. We're going to take some of that Van Dyke brown, mix that in with it. There we go. There we are, just getting that dark green. And we're going to put now right in front of here. We're just going to put this land here. There's a little bit of color starting to come in here. Just put that in, go back, get some more. That's right in front of where those hills are. Comes back this way a little higher. Goes off into the distance there. You say, oh, Timbo, it's going leaking down there. That's okay. That's okay. That's just going to be reflection in our water. That'll just be some reflection in the water. So we'll take that. Load it back up on the brush. Load some more of that color. And now we're going to add some trees to this part. There we go. Just bending that brush, pulling it upwards. And then maybe we even come in just using the corner of the brush. If we can get it to stick now. Now we're getting where we're putting paint on top of paint. And so, as it gets thick on there, it's a little hard to stick, but that's okay. So let's pull some of that down, just pulling straight down. There we go. Not too worried about it over on this side, because we're going to have more things over there. So we've got that. Then we can just take a clean, dry brush. This brush right here, just a 1-inch brush. We haven't used it yet. We're just going to pull that and soften that out on the water. There we go. Just bring it back that way. Now we can take our palette knife again. Oh, let's go to some of that Van Dyke brown. We'll just put that up here. Get some of our titanium white. Maybe add in alizarin crimson in there. Maybe a little bit of yellow even. Just coming up with that color for some land. Just pull it out thin. Take it across there. And now we'll just put some land in. And this is down at the bottom here, but just let it be. Let some reflection stand below it. Just pop that in. There you go. Get some more. Just bring that straight back that way. There we go. Just giving ourselves a little bit of land there. All right. So this is the river, but the river winds around. So let's give it something to wind around. Let's give it something to wind around. Let's go to more of this Van Dyke brown and sap green. Mixing that together. There we go. Just load it up on that fan brush. And let's just, maybe we're going to put some trees in front of here. Right this way. Just using that fan brush. Just dropping these in quick. There we go. Pick up some more. Pick up some more. And you see this river will float back that way. We have that over in the background. And it'll just get lost around that corner. There we go. Maybe come up, just dropping in. These are just kind of the presence of trees. This will be the east side of the river, and our hobbits, they got off over here on the west side of the river. Headed north-northwest, trying to find their path into that mountain there. Trying to find that secret entrance. Bring this down this way. Just fill that up back there. There we go. Now, the bottom here, let's just put in some, maybe that's a little land that comes out this way. There we are, just filling that space up. Filling it up. We'll put some trees in front with some more details on them. But for now, let's just fill this up. There we go. You can even rub it in if that blue is showing through a little too much. Just rub that in. And then you can come back and you can just give it some texture in there. There we go. Maybe these will reflect. Just using that same color. Just bringing these trees down. There we go. There we are. Just like that. Just fill up that space. And that's where we didn't have much of that liquid white on the water right there. So it made it a little more difficult. Put those in. There we are. Now let's just come. We've got a clean, dry brush. So we're just going to pull this reflection down. There we go. Just pulling that down. Mix it together and then just pull it across. There we go. You see how that just makes that reflection come through. And just press a little bit just to get that color there on the end. There we are. Now let's put a tree that's a little closer right there. So we'll do that. Just sticking with that dark color, get some more sap green there. Just load that up onto the brush. Now this one we're going to have a little more detail. So we do like we do with our normal trees, where we come and we just make a line like that. Come back and let's go here. Just zigzagging back and forth. And that's a little hard to see. That paint's a little thick back there. So what do we do about that? What do we do about that? Well, we come in, we thin this out just a bit. And it's pretty close to the same color, so we're not getting a lot of variation there. We just want to set this in, bring this down, and then we'll highlight it to show it differently. There we go. Now just let's lighten that up. Let's come we'll take some of our yellow. Just looking for a lighter green here. There we are. Got that. That'll show up a little better now. Now that'll show up a little better. We'll give some highlight to this tree. Right in there. And we might need to even highlight that a little more. Let's bring some of that yellow ochre in. Maybe even a little bit of titanium white. Oh, look, we polluted that. We polluted that. There we go. Got a real light green there. Real light green. So that'll show up. That'll show up. Here we go. There we are. That one showed up a little better. Maybe right over here. There we are. Let's put some of that color in the water down here. There we are. Now, come to that brush that we had. Clean and dry brush. Now for the adding this to reflection, just pull it straight up. Now we pull it over. There we are. Now we've got a little time left here, so we're going to add in, we're going to have our land, our shore right here, where they landed. Let's just take some dark colors. We're going to drop some dark color down, and then we'll come and we'll highlight it. So this is that western shore where they landed. There we go. Now we just put that dark color underneath. That's just so our grass and things will show up a little better. Let's put in, maybe there's a tree over here. A few trees. Let's go back to that fan brush, clean that off. Now what we'll do, we're going to take this sap green and this alizarin crimson. We're going to mix that together to make a nice dark brown. Oh, we have some other colors mixed in there too, but that's okay. That's okay. This is going to be our color for the trees. And a little bit more of the alizarin crimson. There we go. That makes a nice brown for us. This is where they're headed. They're headed off in this direction. And back there, that's the desolation. Up here, there were still some trees. So we'll put a tree right here. We'll put that branch in. And then let's come and back and forth. Back and forth, we drop this tree in. There we go. Let's clean off that brush. And you see right in the center there, where that was a lot of paint underneath, our paint started not sticking. That dark wasn't sticking, it was picking up paint. So you just have to be careful when you're doing that. So let's go back. And these up here, these are happy trees, as old Bob Ross the Blue used to say. And back there, those are unhappy trees. Oh, those were burnt long, long time ago. So we'll come back and we'll put another tree right here. And load up that brush. And then we're going to come back and forth, putting that tree in there. Some more of that dark. There we are. Getting some more of that sap green and alizarin crimson in there. And let's just darken that up some. There we go. Now, let's come to our brush here. We're going to take some of that, put it over here, that brown. Let's mix a little bit of our titanium white there. Just coming with a color for a trunk of our tree. We're just going to tap that in just barely. Not through the whole thing. Ooh. Just so you see that it's there. And we got quite a bit up there. Can we take some off? It might look like a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. That's okay. Just take some of that. We'll put that there. Put one here, here. Just the presence of some tree trunks there. Now let's come. We're going to come to this screen. We're going to add some more yellow in there. Make a good highlight color for our tree there. Come back and we just highlight some of those branches. Thin it out a little bit to get it to stick a little better to that thick paint. There we go. And you see it just gets a little thin. Makes it stick a little easier when we're trying to highlight there. Now there was no straight path through here. There was no real guide on which way to go. Let's come here, let's put some grass in. Just come our sap green, some of that cadmium yellow. Make that up. Now that yellow always does that to me. He's so tricky. He just tries to hide in one spot on the brush. That's okay, yellow. I don't mind. I'm just going to come here and that'll make some parts of the grass lighter, some parts of the grass darker. There we go. We're just putting in some of that grass. Putting in some of that grass. There we are. Now we have this over here. This stretches out into our water and we can pull it down. Make a little bit of a reflection that way. And just with the corner of your brush, just gently pull that. There you go. And create that reflection. There we are. Now, we're going to have a bit of a path here. Maybe there's a path that stretches out. Just coming with our knife here. There's not a path that cuts through, but this was just, we'll say, our dwarves, they just wore this down as they headed off into those bushes. Say it leads down to the water, because they had docked their boat and unloaded, and the men of Lake Town had brought them some ponies to use. That's right. Some more grass color there. There we go. And we'll put it in right down this way. And you can put some bushes and things if you want to put more trees in. You can do that as well. Just come here. There we are. But now we have just a little bit of time. And we'll see. Now, as the dwarves headed off that next morning, they came ashore, they camped overnight, and then they headed off to look for that path. Well, Mr. Bilbo and the dwarf Balin, they brought up the rear. They were on their horses, their ponies rather, right here. So we'll see if we can put something in that'll represent that. Now these details, you know, when we're doing these wet on wet painting techniques, it's a little hard to put in a character like this while this is all still wet. But we'll just try it. If it doesn't work, I'll just stand in front of this part like this and I'll say, well, that was a fun painting we did today, and you won't even be able to see that I attempted to put a dwarf there. Or a hobbit riding a pony. There we go. I was using an old filbert brush. I might need to change to something a little smaller that can be a little more detailed. Let's go to just this small brush right here. We'll just bring him in and we'll make this horse here. Oh, it's hard to tell that that's a horse, I guess. Oh, you're like, oh, Timbo, that looks like a person there. And maybe we'll say, oh, Mr. Bilbo was on this guy. There we go. And we'll even put in some, let's come to right here. Try and make a color for old Mr. Bilbo's face. There we go. Just maybe an ear and a chin that you can see. Maybe his hand on a rein. And let's put in some hair for him. Put it dark at first and we'll come back and highlight. If we can get that to stick. There we go. Let's come to some of our yellow ochre. See if we can get that to go down for his hair. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, Timbo, are you painting yourself on that pony? Well, maybe it looks a little like me. I do like to go out on adventures. Now, see if we can get the representation of the rest of that pony right in front of him. Right now he's riding a headless horse. I know you have a tale called the Headless Horseman. Right now this looks like the Headless Horse. Let's come into some of this Van Dyke brown and see if we can't get that on a little thicker and then detail it. There we go. That works. That works for our pony there. Oh, Mr. Bilbo is riding. Well, hopefully you can tell what that is. Oh, Mr. Bilbo. All those dwarves are ahead of him. If you want to put in Balin, Balin was there right next to him. You can put that in. But this is a fun part of the story. They've been traveling all that way through all their adventures, and now they're almost there. They're almost to that mountain, that lonely, lonely mountain. All right, but I hope you like that. They had traveled upriver, settled on the western bank, and then they went off on their ponies, headed to that mountain to look for the secret entrance. Such a fun story. I hope you enjoyed today's painting, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. And if you'd like, you can go to timbotook.com and you can find some of these prints that I put up, and you can get those. It's fun, or some t-shirts, that sort of thing. So, well, I wish you happy painting. Goodbye, and God bless.